There. Hey, everybody. Chuck Cook, Greg Siskin, Aaron Hall, with you today here at IMMPact Litigation. Jesse has the day off because he's got a funeral to go to.
Yeah.
All right. So first thing is, I think we should just jump right into bon jabeur. The court has, this is the DV 2022 matter. The court has issued a order to show cause for us to say, tell the court what else is there. So we'll be filing as nothing because we believe they've used all the visas.
Yeah.
In fact, they may have used more than all the visas. A little unclear at this point.
Interesting how they do that, but they did.
Here's my question. You know, the one thing I have forgotten is why is it 54,850 and not 5,000?
55.
They subtract a few for, I believe, relief under NACARA.
But they're still. I thought they were done with that. That's why it was 50 instead of 55 for decades.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Apparently, they set 150 aside for this year.
Well, I do have a new NACARA client that came in and that I'm filing NACARA for. So
there you go.
Unusual.
It's a derivative beneficiary, but looks like I'm going to get it. So okay, there we go. So it looks. I mean, it'd probably be 6 months before they publish their numbers because we still don't have the third quarter numbers.
Right.
So DV 2020 and 2021 are still alive, but that case is largely dead because they used up the numbers, which is what we wanted them to do.
So what we're going to do, we're going to dismiss this bon jabeur case. We ended up with 11 or 12 plaintiffs that unfortunately just didn't get their interviews, even though they should have. And the judge refused to do anything about it. And at that point, since there is no reservation, we do not believe an appeal would be in good faith. So there will be no appeal of this case. So DV 2022 will officially be over as far as we're concerned. And kudos to all those that got it. I mean, a lot of people that weren't plaintiffs got their visas because of the plaintiffs that stepped forward. And we wish those plaintiffs that didn't get it good luck in the next year's lottery, which registration starts, I believe, tomorrow.
Is that right?
I think tomorrow or the next day, registration starts online for DV 2024. So get in. You got picked once, you could get picked again. So we wish you with that.
I was just looking at the visa bulletin, and I hadn't looked at this yet, but it's the same number for DV 2023, the 54,850. So they're setting aside the 150 again.
So it must be the 150 that's coming out of NACARA.
Yeah.
I know at one point they were using the Chinese Student Act. They were taking numbers from somewhere for those guys too. Heaven forbid we should get extra numbers. I had a call this morning from a long guy. I got his green card decades ago, and he now owns a company that has like 400 employees, and they manufacture things. And he's of course desperate for employees. And I said, look, the only way you're going to get those is if you open abroad. You're not. He's an indoor manufacturer. He's not going to get an H-2B, year-round jobs. They're just manufacturing jobs. Open up. He says, you're telling me that Congress doesn't want me to have employees in the United States. They would prefer that I open a business abroad. I said, that is exactly what Congress prefers at this time. Whether they'll say it out loud or not, that's what they want to prefer. As far as Go and Gomez, they're still pending. We will not be hearing, although Jesse did pop around a very interesting case this morning that included one of the judges that we had that struck down a challenge to the STEM OPT regulations, basically saying executive branch, they could do this, it felt well within the regs. So I don't think that's a bad thing for us. I think it's a good thing for us. And we'll see. But that's where we are. We will not be hearing from them probably till early next year. In fact, I think
it's a good pro-immigrant decision.
It is. It's a very pro-immigrant decision. And the thing about that, they argued that, well more than 6 months ago.
This case goes back to the Obama administration.
Oh,
I think.
Like early in the Obama administration. It's got to be around for a decade.
This case has been, I guess, is hopefully the end of the line for these guys.
Okay. Next thing, our last K1 Manila guy is done. So we're done. We're dismissing this case as well. Yay! And I will tell you, I've had a lot of contact with the government attorney in this case. It's been terrific.
It's been a long journey for those plaintiffs.
Yeah, so I'm glad they got those out the door and done. The next thing we want to talk about here, I'll push down here, is what we have going on as far as our new round 3 employment-based wastage case. This really, we call it employment-based wastage, but really it's really going after the government and how they calculate these visas. I will tell you, there was another case that had been filed in September that has now been tossed. At least the TRO has been denied by a judge in that case, basically saying, I don't understand how the government did this, but it doesn't seem illegal. I mean, that's basically what the decision says. Ours is a very different approach, and obviously different court, and really focus on the language of how this is done. So if you're interested in that, obviously anybody who's in Madhavan, which we'll get to in a second, can join our case. And which means anybody who was in the prior case, the Madhavan, can join our case. But that's out there. Sign up. If you had your adjustment filed before December 31st, 2020, you are the plaintiff we are looking for here, to get you one of 2021, to get you one of these 200,000 EBs, and really what we're going after are those 60,000 extra EBs, which need to be going to the oldest plaintiffs, the oldest priority dates.
So there's largely 2 issues. One is that they didn't abide by their own rules in the statute by skipping over those people to adjudicate people who filed more recently. And we're also going to dispute the way that they distribute the rolled over numbers, that it should be going to backlogged people and not just being done the same way where the backlog folks only get 7% again.
So, because that's not right. That is contrary to how we read the statute, and I think it's how the statute's read. So let's talk about Madhavan here for a second.
First, Greg, on this, do you want to talk about? Didn't we have some people approved in the last day or 2?
Yeah, I haven't checked yet. I'm presuming that they are people who were still current priority dates on there. But we had 4 plaintiffs in Madhavan approved yesterday. So that's, I don't know how many we had that still had current priority dates and what the numbers are looking like there. But yes, so that was good. We went from, we went from 116 to 111. So there was actually a 5th person.
I think we had 13 people with current PDs after October 1, if my recollection is correct.
Yeah, my guess is the government's trying to get this case to go away by finishing these people up, which is great for those plaintiffs. So hopefully that will be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stupid of them not to just do these cases. I mean, really. Obviously what the government said was, well, if we do the case, people that sued, then people will sue us.
We did have somebody on October 1st that moved, their case was transferred to a local office, which is presumably one of our people that are current. And then I have to figure out how they got to that 5th person, because that's not showing up in the tool.
So we had a couple of filings over the course of the last week, right? So first, the judge had issued an order to show cause, basically saying, hey, for people who have been approved, why are they still in the case? If they should still be in the case, let us know. Otherwise, we should dismiss them. And so we filed a stipulation dismissing, I think the total was 84 plaintiffs. And there will be another batch of people being dismissed, including those who have been approved in the last day or so. And hopefully there will be more today and more tomorrow, but there will be a second batch of people being dismissed from Madhavan. And then we have a filing due on the 17th of October, I believe it is, in response to the government motion. So that's where we are there.
Right. So to the person who asked the question about what the plan is for Madhavan plaintiffs, if you are still current, you are going to stay in Madhavan, and obviously we're seeing those people are getting they're getting approvals fairly quickly. If you have been retrogressed, the new litigation we're working on is where we want you to be. You need to sign up, though. We're not going to assume that our Madhavan plaintiffs that are not current anymore want to be in the other litigation. We need you to affirmatively fill out the engagement letter and the declaration. You will not be charged to be in that case, but we do need you to sign up for it. And then also we have spouses that are were split up, and we haven't decided for sure that they are going into the other case, but we are asking you, if you're in that situation, to sign up to be in the other case anyway, so we can keep track of you and know that you want to be in the other case if we decide to add those people to the new case. Am I remembering that correctly, guys?
You do. You
Okay.
do. We will not, the thing is, we don't give up on our clients. We don't just do run and gun, right? So we're with you till the end to get this thing done.
Yeah.
We're going to fix this system. We did fix the part where they didn't use the visas. All right. Litigation fixed that. There's literally no other explanation for them using the visas.
Hard to get a complete win in these things. We try, and that's why we have to keep fighting until eventually we get.
And we're going to make them follow what the law says. Despite, one of the things they said in this case was, but we've done it this way for 30 years. And one of the things Judge Maida said in the earlier case was, then you did it wrong for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's the 212E, 212F. Then you did it wrong. I'm sorry. That's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
So there we are with that. We have our United for Ukraine lawsuit, EADs. Who wants to talk about that briefly?
Well, I will. I'll jump in and just say that we have the government response to the complaint, right, was due, but they got an extension. And the reason for the extension is that they represented accurately that they're in settlement negotiations with us, and so we're gonna keep those tight to the vest for now. But we're feeling
well, the negotiation when we actually know what they're planning on doing. It's basically it's a conversation that's only on one side internally with themselves. But we are optimistic we're going to be getting something in the next couple of days from them. I don't think they want to be on the record opposing both what Congress told them to do, as well as, it's a bad look for them to be going after Ukrainians and trying to make them suffer unnecessarily. The other thing I will mention is, we've also been having some discussions about potentially either a new suit or expanding this one to look at some other immigration benefits that are available under the statute to Ukrainians. So look for some news on that soon too.
Madam Director, to quote Spike Lee, do the right thing.
Yeah.
Just do the right thing.
I did, by the way, learn something interesting this weekend. I went to my chapter conference for the ALA in New Orleans over the weekend, and I went to a panel on Afghanistan and found out that they actually have some similar legislation that was passed for them that was also not really being carried out. So I am thinking the reason why USCIS interpreted this way was they got away with it for that population on there, and just assumed that if they got away with it for that population, then they could get away with it for this population. So we will be also looking at that to see.
Well, what's even worse for the Afghans?
That program's almost over.
Yeah, it is. But what's even worse that they did to the Afghans is the scam of parole. This whole scam of pay us $650, whatever it is, where they denied 99% of the requests.
Well, hold on. They denied the ones that they adjudicated, but they didn't actually make an adjudication at all on most of them.
No,
most of them are just still sitting there after more than a year.
Well, it's outrageous what they've done there. And the idea that you would take literally tens of millions of dollars from perhaps outside of Haiti, the poorest people in the world, is absolutely horrific.
Well, and to the extent that in a lot of cases, it's like, local churches and charities that are the ones that are helping these people. And that's who they're taking money out of. It's like, these nonprofits and these people across the U.S., these Americans who have goodwill, they're taking money from them and getting away with it. It's just really,
it's outrageous.
Bad, bad.
Madam Director, talk to us. Talk to us before we sue you on this too. Talk to us. I would note on the EB-5 Jane filing, we are waiting for discovery, which we'll get, I think, in 2 weeks from today. And then we'll maybe 2.5 weeks from today. And we'll share that as soon as we get that out with our plaintiffs and decide whether we need more discovery or whether we're prepared to go forward on summary judgment. I would note, and we have some data, that they once again are doing adjudications out of order, this time in the EB-5 context. OMG, what is wrong with you people at USCIS? Do you not know how filing dates work? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you don't know that September comes after May, not before May. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. It's just absolutely crazy to me that they're doing that. All right, let's take a look. We got a few questions, and then we'll be done, which is good because this is why I can go to my birthday celebration today.
Happy birthday!
Thank you very much. It's this is a historic birthday.
Oh no!
I am now historic. I am now historic. I want you to know,
in decade 7?
Well, I was born the day that Soviets launched a satellite. That's how old I am. In the 60s. Yes, I'm not Sputnik, but actually a subsequent. It might have been the dog. Maybe it was the day the dog went around the world, something like that. I'm old.
Like that.
Hello, team. What do you think about the recent thing about Judge Henderson? Like we said, it's a good decision. It's a per curiam, so you don't know who wrote it. But again, Judge Henderson didn't say but 2 words in the oral argument. So
they did rulemaking. I mean, it was pretty much they
did exactly what they're supposed to do. I mean, I thought it was a baseless lawsuit.
Yeah,
completely baseless. DeClorox talked about go. Srinadapa, what is the plan for Madhavan and still current now?
Yeah, we just talked.
That's why you have not been dismissed from our lawsuit. It now a mandamus action for you.
Yes, he asked that before we got to that question.
Yeah, and so I think that our U.S. attorney's trying to make you go away. She's smart. She doesn't want to litigate this case.
By the way, the next question you asked about 11. There are 11 plaintiffs and probably about 20, 25 adjustment
total people. Yeah,
11 people that are the plaintiffs. So it's actually like about double that as far as, or a little bit more as far as the number of people that are covered. So when I talked about 5 people that,
so there's no need for you to sue. You are already suing on your mandamus. Yeah. The good thing about them at this point, guys, I think is compelling, is we have unlimited amounts of evidence that immigration skipped them. Just skip them.
Yeah.
I mean, that is to me a per se mandamus grant, in my opinion. And I think the government knows that. This is per se. You now at this point, you don't get to say, well, you know what, we don't, occasionally people fall out of order. Not like this, they don't. Not like this. This is just ground level incompetence. Super ambinus, bimus, if we win the appeals, you're fine. Everybody's protected under the Child Status Protection Act in the DV 2020 and DV 2021. If you've got a baby in the meantime, they're protected as well. Don't worry about it. If we win, the whole family's coming. Is USCIS still tracking legislation current? I don't know if USCIS is tracking them. My guess is that they are because they've already approved 4. But the U.S. attorney is tracking them. I know that. Any news on H-1B? Okay, this is interesting. Greg, did you check out the new numbers they published on? No, you didn't check that out because they haven't published any numbers.
Really, what?
So they announced in early September that when did they announce they got enough applications? That's got to be.
That was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. I think it's more than that. I think it's a couple months ago. I think it was in August. I said, yeah, we got enough. Well, I know we have at least 3 cases that we filed in June that are unadjudicated because we refused. These guys refused to pay the extortion fee, right? So they're still pending, but they haven't said how many they got. This is stunning to me.
They could still call up people at this point, even after October 1st.
Well, they lied, but won't they look kind of bad when they said they're not going to do any more lotteries? They've got enough?
Yeah, I mean, bad. I mean, what would be I don't think it's
some employees gave up and went home. I mean, Employers on. This is the downside to the incompetence at USCIS. Is an employer is raring to go. They win the lottery, put it in March. They win the lottery. They file in April, right? They get it done. Out the door, they're done.
Right. We know that. Right.
Oh yeah, we moved on, Bobby. Sorry, we moved on. We're not going to do your H-1B.
Yeah. So I mean, it gets more and more uncertain. The more people are gaming and filing multiple applications. So we know that the number that submitted wasn't just strictly driven by the economy on there, because the numbers that were applying in the 20,000 lottery remain relatively consistent, and that's almost all U.S.-based filers. I mean, U.S.-based beneficiaries. That's how we know that it's it's not the economy, because those applications would be increasing as well.
I should call Greg. I should call government counsel, who told me they were in the works to fix the problem a year and a half ago.
Well, you can give them that is a good example of talking to them on there and giving them a heads up that we're working on this litigation and refiling it. And do they have any reason to dissuade? Is there anything that would dissuade us?
From filing. So we still out there, but clearly, they said that they would have something by August, right? They have nothing. There's nothing in rulemaking we can tell. There's nothing going on, and they're hiding the numbers. Let's be clear, they're hiding the numbers. And keep in mind what they said in one of the pieces. I think it was Curtis's litigation. That hey, that stuff we publish in our statistical report, you can't rely on that. It's not accurate.
The next question, Chuck, from Firefly. I want you to put that one up. Yeah, I apologize on that. We have everything ready, I think. With I just have to check back with Kirby and find out what the if she's waiting on any edits on anything on the FAQ or the onboarding.
Okay, sorry, we're gonna get that up hopefully today. That would be great.
On my list. Sorry.
Ross Mann, thank you very much. Is there a Zoom call for Madhavan plaintiffs and round 3? Not at this time, because we have dismissed a large number of folks from the case, from the Madhavan case, as the judge requested. And we will do a call as soon as folks sign up for the round 3 stuff. But this is what we're doing right now. Is this all right? Thank you, Shribabu. I appreciate our heart. You know what? Thank you very much. Because I got to tell you, I think people like to think, they're just in it for the money. Trust me, there's not a lot of money in this.
We had other options.
We didn't take thousands of dollars from thousands of people.
I'd be doing mergers and acquisitions work.
Exactly.
Which I started my career doing, and I was falling asleep at my desk every day.
Nobody gets rich as an immigration.
Well paid and very unhappy.
But I got to tell you, we do work hard. And if you saw the internal emails that we're exchanging at 10 o'clock at night or 6 in the morning, this is not an 8 to 5 job here. Much like you, we take this very, very seriously. And your case, we all been this way. Your case is our case. We don't say, oh, we just took the money and go. It's not how these law firms operate. It's not. Yeah, I'm sure about it. We just talked about the 485 lottery system. That's what it is, right? It's a 485 lottery system at this point.
It is.
There is, I just found out yesterday, Greg can confirm this, that there is finally going to be an AILA USCIS liaison meeting.
We promised them quarterly.
An actual liaison meeting where this type of question will be asked and presumptively will be answered. For those of you who don't know,
I think it'll be asked and ignored.
But we can't talk about it because it's litigation. For years, I mean, from the time I was a brand new lawyer 33 years ago, we had meetings. We would meet once a quarter with CIS, and back then it was INS, right? And that all the Bush administration stopped that in the latter part of the Bush administration. Obama never restored it. They did interest group meetings, but the one organization that knows the deepest faults and greatest problems of this agency, they have refused to meet with for a decade. Mm-hmm. So We're back.
I was going to say that the good news is that they're reinstating the liaison. The bad news is that it's going to be with Emma.
The dumbest AI in America. People enjoyed that tweet yesterday. Yes, it could. If you're not feeling frustrated enough, if you feel like you're on top of stuff, if you feel like you know things, call Emma, and she'll make all that go away. I think it's clever that they call her Emma. I mean, obviously, it's kind of Emma Lazarus. You know, it's clever. But freak, man, have something done properly. Any update on Go? We already did that. Sai, how are you? Final decision October 17th. No, they will not. We have to file a motion for summary judgment, right? That's what we're doing right now on the mandamus folks. So we're gonna move forward. We need to clean up the case first, see where government counsel is. They do not want to be on the receiving end of her summary judgment. I think we have a good judge for that. I do. I think we have a good judge for that summary judgment. Our biggest problem in Madhavan, for all of you to know, is we don't have a plaintiff that lives in Washington anymore. So none of our remaining plaintiffs are in Washington. So we may have to end up refiling that mandamus with this next set. But for right now, we're not dismissing you. The government has pointed out that none of you live in Washington. So if you were considering moving
to Washington,
I want you to consider the Eastern District of Washington. Sambeli, good to see you. Thank you, Asham, very much. And last, are you one of the 11? Is Sai Prasad?
All right, that's a question from one person to another.
Oh, another. All right, we don't worry about that. All right, everybody. It's great to see you. Have a wonderful week. I'll be live tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Greg, are you live? Are you on hiatus?
I am not.
All right. Aaron?
We will be on Thursday at 2 Eastern.
Awesome. And congrats, Aaron, on a new partner.
Yes.
Zach?
Well, that's in the works.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I think we love Zach. We think he's amazing. And we, of course, love your law firm and think you're just terrific. All right, everybody. Till next week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.